Alright class, in this video I want to show you guys how to create a navigation bar. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is I need to create a few extra pages on here. So let me go ahead and add a couple more pages. And I'm going to rename it. Let me just go to this first one. Same thing here. Alright, let me go ahead and hit save. I'm going to call this one, I'll call this one about.html. And the next one I'm going to call projects.html. And then I'll call this one school.html. And I'm going to call this one contact.html. Perfect. Let me just make sure. Okay, they all have something on there. They've got HTML code on there. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to go back to my index.html, and I'm just going to show you how to create a navigation bar on the index.html. And then I'll copy and paste everything over at a later time or later video. So the first thing we want to do is we want to create a div class. And this is just a container to put all of our HTML elements here. So we're going to go div class. And I'm going to call this nav. I'm going to close it. Perfect. And then I'm going to call, there's different ways to do this. We can actually create an anchor to where it anchors different parts of the web page. And I'll show you another video on actually how to do that. But for now, we're going to actually just link it to these different pages over here. So we're going to say A, which is our anchor tag. And then we're going to href, and that basically just links to our URL link. And so the first one I'm going to say is we'll do it about.html, and then I'm going to say about. Perfect. All right, and the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say AH. In fact, before I even do that, I'm going to come down, come back up here, and I'm going to say index. And I'm actually going to call this home. And this we would actually probably, since this is on our first page, we would actually state this a little bit different. I would just say pound index, but I will show you again at a later video on how to actually do that. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say, I will say school next, and then I'm going to say school. Perfect. And then on this one, I'm going to say projects. Perfect. And then I'm going to close that and say projects. I want to capitalize that though. All right. And then I'm going to close it with contact. If I can type, let's see here. All right, let's say contact. All right, I'm going to come up here and save all. And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to copy this path, come back over here. There we go. So there's a home tab, about, school, projects, contact. All right, it doesn't look great so far, but that's where we got to add the CSS. So let's come back over here to the code, and we're going to go to style.css, and we're going to try to make it to where it looks a little bit, we're going to style it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to play with the navigation bar first. So we're going to go nav. Actually, we need to go nav, and then we're going to brackets and then I'm going to say my overflow, and I'm going to make this hidden. And you can kind of play with that. You can do hidden, like visible, auto. There's a bunch of different attributes you can add to that. And then we're going to go to actually, let me see if it pops up. Yeah, there we go. Auto, hidden, scroll, visible. And I'm going to go ahead and say hidden on here. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to give it a background color. And I'm just going to say black, I think. I think that should work. And then, let's see here. And then I'm going to come over here. Let's go ahead and save this. File, save all. And come back to Chrome. And see what that looks like. Alright, doesn't look great yet. Let's come back to Visual Studio Code. And then I'm going to come back. So this .nav right here is this part right here. So it's the div class as a whole. So let's come back down to style. And now I want to go to .nav with the anchor tag. Alright. So what I'm going to say, we'll go font size. And I'm going to say 20 pixels. So maybe a little much, but we're going to try it. And we're going to go padding. I'm going to say 20 px. And I'm going to say 25 px. And then I'm going to say, we're going to do text align. And then we're going to say center. And then I'm going to float it. Say float left, and you guys can play around with it. Like you can do float left, float right, and I'll show you if it comes up. Yeah, left, none, right, and there. So you can play with it. I'm gonna float mine left, and then let's say I need to do the color of it. Then we're gonna do with the white smoke, and then I'm gonna say, let's see, I did text align? I've already done that. Let's do I'll do text decoration. And I'm going to say on this one, I'm going to say none. All right. Perfect. I'm going to save all of this. And then I'm going to come back to Chrome. See the difference there. Perfect. Okay. And I should be able to click over here, and it's going to take me to the About tab. And there's nothing there, obviously, at this point. So let me come back to the Visual Studio Code. Now what I want to do, I want to be able to hover over it. So I'm going to say .nav, and I'm going to say the anchor tag, and I'm going to say hover, and then I want to say background color, and then I'm just going to give it a, we'll do, for right now, I'll do yellow, and then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say color, and I want it to be red to really pop out. I'm going to say file, save all, come back to Chrome. Actually, I better hit the back button. There we go. So now when I hover over it, it comes up as yellow with the red background right there. So that is that. That's kind of your first navigation bar. And I can actually take this and put this onto any of the pages, and I will put that at some point. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me.